So what happens in the long run? Well, in the long run, the firm basically has two decisions to make. If the company is doing well, or if there are profits to be made in a market, then firms will enter that market or industry. And if you're already in that market, then you have an incentive to expand. On the other hand, if you're not doing so well with your company, or a typical firm is not doing well, then you will cut your losses and exit the industry. And remember that you could do this because in the long run, all the costs are variable, so you can get rid of all your fixed costs and get out. Or if you're doing well, you can buy more fixed capital or enter the operation by buying capital. So what does this mean? Well, this means that when price is larger than average total cost, means that the company, the typical company in the industry, is having profits, positive economic profits, because the revenue per unit is larger than the cost per unit, and that will give an incentive to other companies to enter the industry, and that will drive the price, down. So P will go down as more companies enter the industry. On the other hand, if companies are having economic losses, a typical company is having economic losses, that means that the revenue per unit of the typical company is less than the cost per unit, and that gives companies that are in that industry an incentive to get out, and as companies go out, that puts an upward pressure in the price, so the price goes up, allowing those companies who stay in that market to earn at least zero economic profits. So if this is a situation that will happen in the long run, companies enter the industry or exit an industry, the equilibrium in the long run will be when the typical company in that industry is having no economic profits, which is when price equals average total cost. The revenue per unit equals the cost per unit. So at this point is what we call a long run equilibrium situation. Okay, so sometimes this is easier to. One can make the argument that one wouldn't need any diagram to understand this dynamic, but sometimes it is easier to explain this with two diagrams together, and that's what we're going to do in the next little section here.